Hello, I'd like to welcome everybody to the new Zombie Awakening podcast. I'm Joseph Newberry.
And I'm William Franklin. And here.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, hey.
I'm stepping on your toe.
Oh, hey, it happens. It happens. This podcast is all about waking up from cycles and learned behaviors to keep people out of those ruts that we so easily get into.
So, Will, I've kind of had this epiphany, and it's the whole reason for this podcast in the first place. People are literally like sleepwalking through life. Would you agree with that? They're just like going through the motion.
Oh, wait. Am I a zombie?
Are you a zombie? You might be.
Stick around. We'll see if we can help figure this out.
Well, so we should take this episode and really help people understand whether or not they're a zombie. Because, Will, you might be.
Oh, yeah.
We can figure it out by the end of this episode. But I have this epiphany that I've had is that most people are.
Oh, I would agree. They get stuck in those ruts, or they get stuck in the monotony of a job and just can't figure out how to get out of there.
So it's like they're asleep at the wheel.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Man, I might be a zombie. That's
Well, I think that there's a fix here. There's this unhappiness that people are dealing with in general in life, and I think that the solution is getting people out of their zombie state. So, real quick, I want to make sure this is our first episode. Will, you got a favor to ask of our people, right? We want to make sure that people subscribe, right?
Oh, yes.
Tell your friends, write a review, or DM us directly if you've got comments about the show.
Questions, anecdotes, something to help us get through it.
Will is a fan of dirty jokes, so dirty jokes, send him a dirty joke.
Yeah, I could tell some, but probably would not get as many fans.
Maybe not. So let's just take like a few minutes here, and let's define what the zombie cycle is and what it looks like to figure out. If you're on Copilot, you woke up, you came home, you scroll through your phone, you go to bed, you repeat, no real growth, no real challenge. It feels like you're just kind of going through the motions. It's the same all the time.
Well, let's be real about this. Sometimes in life and jobs, you feel the monotony about the job. You feel the going through the motions, not trying new things, not trying to excel. You're just complacent.
I've had people tell me that sometimes it feels like their life is literally just a dream and it's not a good one. Well, let me ask this. For everybody listening, and you too, Will, consider this. When was the last time you actually made a decision that was truly your decision, that was all about you, that was with actual cognitive thinking behind it, in depth, and it's yours?
Oh man, that's a good one. I don't take a second to reflect on that one.
Man, I kind of need to let that sink in, because I'm thinking, like, we're not talking a lot of decisions, right? And I'm not saying that some routines aren't bad, right? Structure is good.
Oh, yeah.
Being able to make something at such an expert level that you could just kind of peruse through it at an expert level, that's not the stuff that I'm talking about. Structure is a good thing. Routine's a good thing. But people are unhappy. It means they don't have purpose. And if you're just out there existing and not questioning your path, you're probably stuck in a zombie cycle.
Oh, yeah. Man, I've seen so much. People don't realize this failure is just a part of the process.
Yeah, I think people, they're not giving themselves enough credit. So I think that we've got this learned helplessness that's occurred, right?
Yeah, you blame the boss, you blame the situation you're in, you blame the government, the economy, anything except for looking
internally.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, so there's this victim mindset. The victim mindset, it's thinking that life is happening to you instead of for you.
Oh, yeah.
Or that you're in control of the outcome of those circumstances. It's just everything's happening to me, and it's not something that has anything to do with what I'm doing.
Dude, I literally stayed at a job too long because of this. Wasn't happy. I just stayed there because it was comfortable. It was comfortability.
Damn, that sounds depressing.
Oh, it was completely depressing.
So let me ask this. Let me go off script here. And this is our pilot episode, so give us some credit. The first episode of a new show is never the best one.
Oh, yeah.
But that said, like we do know that we've got a topic in the Zombie Awakening that we want people to be happy, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we've got knowledge to share. and interactions to have with people to help facilitate that. But to help people get there, people have to recognize the fear of breaking
the breaking the monotony, breaking the vicious cycle.
It is.
You start looking at just like I brought up earlier. You start looking at your boss. Start looking at everything else externally. You start getting that comfortable that I don't want to go out and try something new. I don't want to go out and live the entrepreneur.
It's easier not. It's easier to not have the things you want, not be happy, and not have purpose than it is to recognize that there's a fear holding you back from the change that's going to be required to get you where you want to go. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We've worked together different jobs.
Sure.
There's times where even going back to the old cell phone days,
a long time
ago, I was very comfortable there. And it took, I think, you and some of our other coworkers saying that maybe this isn't the path for Wilt. Maybe this is not, maybe it's outside of there.
Sure.
And it took that fear. It took okay, I've got to try something new in order to get where I want to go.
And why would I do that when I'm comfortable where I'm at?
Exactly.
So here's what I don't want to happen to you or anybody that's listening. You know what's more depressing? What is the most depressing? Statistics show that the majority of the people that have an opportunity to speak about their life before their death, when they're within earshot of dying, have regret about their relationships, the things that they did with their life, the people they did or didn't talk to, and are dying unhappy.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't want that to happen to me, you, or anybody I know. But unfortunately, we live in a world that's created this atmosphere where that's the norm now.
Oh, regret is real. I mean, if you don't go out and you'll do something about it, it'll eat at you.
Yeah. So we're recognizing that this fear of change is out there. We're recognizing that it's easier to stay in the same mode than it is to be in the better mode. But the crux is we die happy.
Oh, yeah.
So let's break the zombie state. And we're going to talk about a lot of topics as it relates to this zombie state as we build this podcast out. But ultimately, it's about taking control of your life. It's your life to be in charge of. And circumstances, while life does throw curveballs, you get to have the opportunity to respond in the ways that are your choice.
I like having choices.
Yeah, and instead of feeling like it's dictated to you, you get to start dictating.
Oh, man. I mean, think of the possibilities. I mean, just out there ready to go.
So let's do this. Will, do you think that it makes sense to do a checklist to see if you're on autopilot? Can we walk people through something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so if you feel zero excitement in your day-to-day life, if you're bored with your life, that's a pretty big red flag.
Oh, yeah.
You agree?
Oh, yes. Boredom and just go, like you said before, just going through the motions, going exactly what you need to do to get done with your day.
Yeah, so, my gosh, I think about the things that people have to tell themselves to make themselves comfortable with the spaces that they're in, that they don't have to be, and they're trying to convince themselves that they're happy, but they're not. They're not.
Having that checklist, having that, seeing what is out there or seeing what you can do to change the rut in your job is, I mean, the basis of anything, of going through to enjoy your life, to enjoy, what have you.
Well, some of the worst things that I've heard people say is like, I'm going to do this when.
Oh.
I'm going to make this change when this happens. Or, someday. Well, guess what? When that happens, it never happens. They never get there, and that next day never comes. And then, again, those are the people on their deathbed that are unhappy.
Oh, yeah, we said the same thing about a property at the lake that we kept driving by and saying, next year. When we could have just sat there and built through it, or actually built a path to success.
Yeah, so let me ask this. And I'm going to ask, and then let's just give a little bit of a pause to let it sink in and answer the question for yourself. Am I actually making decisions, or am I just a zombie following a script? And I'm not talking about us as it relates to us reading the script for this podcast. So if that question makes you uncomfortable, then we're probably getting through.
Oh yeah. That
So what do you think? Should we talk about some ways to start breaking the cycle?
Yes, we should start challenging ourselves to break the monotony, to break the rut. I like to call it the rut because that's how I feel. It's
It's like getting a truck out of a mud hole that's stuck.
Yeah. I always thought I was pacing in one circle, and you just keep on, wearing that floor all the way down, and pretty soon it's up to your neck, and you're just kind of
zombieing around.
Oh, yeah. How do we break the cycle? How do we break that monotony?
So I think that, step one is really like sitting back and questioning your reality. Like if that question earlier about whether you're actually making decisions or whether you're scripting, that it's not your script, it's somebody else's, it kind of answers that question. Like, why am I doing this? Is this actually what I want?
See, that's why I like to journal everything and actually write it down, to let myself see exactly what I felt in that moment.
It's amazing what people will tell themselves to be okay with something if they don't have to account to anyone or even themselves. Journaling helps account to yourself.
Yes. And saying that, I'm not good enough or I don't have the time. Those thoughts are,
they're limiting beliefs, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so what you're talking about is like you're telling yourself you can't, I won't, I'm not able to, I don't have this or that to be able to do it. You're convincing yourself that it's not going to happen. Well, guess what? If you keep telling yourself that, you're right.
Yeah, you make your own reality. Even taking taking a different route to work or talking to someone new about your job or something else to kind of play ping pong.
How many people actually seek it out to do and learn new things all the time? Like that's just part of their MO. That's what they do. I only know a few. Thank you. I try to. But one of my business mentors, I'll give a shout out to my friend Gary.
Gary Wilbers.
I mean, he whipped my ass into shape as a young guy. I thought I knew everything and I was wrong, but gave me some lessons to help wake me up. I was definitely in a zombie mode.
Those courses you had me take, man, I felt like I was my brain was about to...
Eye-opening, right?
Yeah, it's incredible. I should have, yeah. No, that is incredible.
Well, let me go off script for real quick, just 1 second on that note, and say a couple things about that, because here is the thing. If you are zombieing around, if you are living in that space where you don't feel purpose, you don't feel love in your heart for life, that you're achieving towards something that is important and matters to you, whether it's raising your kids or, helping a nonprofit or changing the world, whatever it is, if you're not feeling...
You can't change the world, but you can make a dent.
If you're not feeling, if you're the zombie that's not feeling any kind of purpose, one guarantee that I can make you is if you look at your life as a place of fear about change and that it's not possible, you won't. And I can guarantee this as well. Almost everyone that I know hates change.
Oh, yeah. No one changes unless, what is the rule? It says no one will actually change until you make it uncomfortable enough to change.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you don't like change, what is the one inevitable thing in this world?
Death?
Change.
Okay.
Change.
Okay.
Tomorrow's going to be different than today. I guarantee it. It's the one guarantee in life that I can guarantee 100% of the time and be right 100% of the time. Would you agree?
Oh, yes.
So let's change our mindset about change.
So it seems like you teach a class or something.
I mean, there's definitely classes related to that, but I have an MO for my life as it relates to change. And you know me, I've been through some shit these last few years, right? and these
just tad. Yeah.
But we'll get into that as we go through the podcast. But the thing about change is you can give yourself space to recognize the negative in it for a moment. But recognizing that change negative in the moment, if it lasts more than a moment, it's too long.
Oh yeah.
But for most people, it's something they gripe about with their friends. Misery loves company. They can't let it go. They can't move on past it.
You have that one friend who drags you down whenever who's already going through something, and misery loves company.
Yeah. So let me ask this: what good for you does it do to look at the negative and change? What good does it create?
Well, if you're going to change, it's obviously for a positive.
Yeah, so you can't change the past. So griping about something that's already occurred, you can't do anything about, right? So
power through.
Absolutely. So
too easy, drill sergeant, too easy.
But training your mind to think about change as a positive thing is a difficult task.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been. Well, I've definitely seen different jobs and different opportunities and whatnot, and every single time I had to reinvent who I was or what I was doing just to.
Straight up. So the little voice inside your head is the little voice that tells you that change is bad, right? Yes?
Yes.
And that little voice only changes if you give that little voice reasons to change. So, you know where it starts? You got to build confidence and knowledge. You got to build confidence and knowledge in yourself so that when life happens with change, you've got confidence and knowledge to face those situations, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you might say, well, I don't have money to go take classes or whatever, but you know what? You know how to read.
Oh, yeah.
Library's got books. That's free.
Well, I don't know if I can read well. I mean, that Columbia education,
I got nothing to say about that. What about podcasts? We're not charging for our podcast. Listen to us.
Oh, yes. And we might not always have the answers, but I guarantee we'll give you some good knowledge.
So what we're seeing here is there's a way out. There's a way about waking up. So like it used to be that if you became a zombie, you were going to be a zombie forever.
Oh, yes.
Like that's how the movies do it, right? Is that right?
Go eat brains, I guess.
So
hey, look, getting knowledge.
This podcast is the scientific research that it shows that zombies can come back to being human beings. And guess what? Smile and be happy and enjoy life and have purpose and feel good.
Does that mean I get a beaker and, some scientific equipment?
I don't think the federal government will let us.
Okay, well. Oh, man.
You specifically, though.
Who can we experiment on? Who wants to subscribe and see what else we get to talk about?
I'm telling you, there's good stuff coming. And these are just the first steps.
And please subscribe and please give us questions or comments or something, because we'll answer you as best we can.
Straight up. I'm going to ask something of our people here. It might be 5 of you since this is the pilot episode, but eventually it'll grow and then
we'll start. Well,
awareness. Right?
Yes.
Awareness is recognizing that there's something happening.
And there's change that needs to happen.
Guess what zombies don't have? Any awareness.
Oh, no.
Oblivious to everything around.
Yeah. They're cold and alone and just kind of walking around the earth.
Like that awareness thing is like zombies don't have awareness. They're just kind of zombieing through. Question your reality. Am I on autopilot most of the time? If the answer is yes, you're a zombie, you're going to die unhappy.
Oh, yes. You don't have goals. You don't have wants. You do have needs. And you have bills. That's the simple stuff in life. That's
straight up.
You know what you're doing to pay your rent, pay your bills, pay your whatnot. It's the other intangibles.
Straight up. So awareness first thing. Second, think about yesterday and how many things came up in your day yesterday. Literally yesterday. This happens every day.
About to start saying boys to men.
How many times did you tell yourself something positive about yourself in the situations you were in as compared to these limiting beliefs that say you can't, you shouldn't, and I won't?
Oh, man, I think I had one of those thoughts the other day.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I might be a zombie.
We all are at some points, and some of us are all the time. But it's starting to question, why do I think that? Why do I act that way? Why is it that I'm okay with this when I know I'm not happy with this, whatever this is?
Well, job, life, about anything you think of, you could be walking down the street and saying, you know what, man, I feel you could have a food choice and have a bad thought.
Yeah, I mean it's literally just kind of going through the motions. So question your reality and think about those negative self-limiting beliefs that pop up in your head all the time. It comes up all the time, even if you are a positive person. That shit comes up all the time for everyone. We're taught to act that way, to think that way. But guess what? Thinking and acting that way doesn't get people the purpose and fulfillment in life that allows you to die happy.
There's a question right there, dying happy.
You got a challenge for people this week?
Well, write down those limiting questions. Write down what is stopping you from getting to X?
I think it's a great idea.
I mean, write out a list, write out, whatever else, subscribe to the channel. Even if it's just that you want to make fun of me and how many times I lumbered through stuff, I'll take it. But give us that information. Let's see if we can't help you break that cycle. Let's see if we can't help you make a positive change. Let's see if we can't help you do better than you did the day beforehand.
Straight up. Will and I were having a drunk conversation at a bar one night, and that's how this came to be.
Yes.
Is we were thinking about our lives and areas in our lives where we were zombieing and we knew we could do different, and we called each other on it.
Oh yes.
And then you know what? We've got good chemistry. Let's see if we can help call other people on it. As they help us through our process, we help them, and that's where the Zombie Awakening podcast came from.
Man, I barely remember that conversation.
It's been a minute. We finally got the courage to actually.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say
right, like to break the cycle.
To break the cycle and try something new and try something that try to help other people out there, because you help yourself through helping people.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to be doing this. We're excited that you're here. Next week, we're going to be talking about why business ownership can help you on your path to freedom and breaking the cycle. Don't miss it. It's really good. I'm sure. I think.
Maybe
it's good.
Maybe we could even get some guest appearance from people.
Maybe. You never know.
I mean, I know someone knows the migrations of the East Arctic penguins.
I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm Joe.
And I'm William.
This is the Zombie Awakening podcast, and we will see you next time.